Chapter 7.
What's been wrong with you two?
Coyle couldn't help but ask this after several days of awkward training sessions. Link had never been inappropriately handsy with the princess by any means, but now he refused to even so much as touch her. Corrections to her dangerously incorrect defensive stances were made with vague hand gestures rather than physical corrections, and Link substituted Coyle in for himself in almost every demonstration. Coyle took over the corrections, chastising Link for having his head in the clouds and letting the princess continue in such an unsafe way. Even their breaks, where Coyle had been watching Link and Zelda sitting and talking together as their friendship grew over the past few months, had become awkward, with Zelda reading a book in the corner, and Link lying in the dirt staring at the sky, looking downright exhausted, as far from her as he dared. Finally, as Coyle watched Link literally jump away from an accidental brush of Zelda's hand, he'd had enough and needed to call them out. Link glanced over and shrugged.
I don't know what you mean.
Zelda didn't even look at Coyle. She couldn't. He let out a low grumble, frustrated with these two children, unsure what was happening and therefore unsure of how to fix it as well. And in this situation, where the princess was meant to accomplish a very dangerous task of protecting herself, he needed to reopen the communication that seemed to have broken at some point. When training for the day ended, Coyle pretended he needed to stretch when he saw the two of them now uncharacteristically huddled together. Coyle was no spy, but he was also no amateur when it came to eavesdropping. Careful not to make any noise that would impede his hearing, he began to stretch his arm across his chest, closing his eyes to block out all distractions while he listened.
So, come by tonight?
Yeah, you're getting better. All that practice is paying off finally.
Oh, shut up.
Link chuckled, soft and low. Zelda made a noise, humming as she thought.
What would you do if I was on top of you?
Excuse me?
Like, you're always holding me down. So what would happen if the roles were reversed? What would I do?
Besides, getting off of me?
Obviously.
Laughing again, Link made a confused, broken noise in the back of his throat.
I mean, are you asking me to wrestle with you or something? What else would you want to do? You get off and run.
Link.
What?
No. I mean, you could just easily have me if I don't know what to do. I wouldn't even be able to stand up.
Okay. I understand. I'll let you have a shot at it. I'm never opposed to being under a woman.
Oh, goddess, Link. Shut up and get out of here.
Zelda laughed, and Coyle heard Link grunt, likely from her shoving him, judging on Link's several quick steps.
I'll see you tonight, princess.
You too. Enjoy your boring patrol when you could have been with me.
I regret every moment I'm not in your presence, your royal highness.
Coyle could finally see Zelda walking away, her eyes rolling as she shook her head at Link, a mischievously small smile playing at her lips, blush on her cheeks. When Zelda had gone, Coyle grabbed Link by the arm and dragged him away.
What was that?
Whatever do you mean?
His tone was innocent. Too innocent. Coyle whacked Link in the head with a solid force, making the younger man wince and take a few steps back.
What?
I told you to be careful. Are you such a childish boy that you couldn't keep yourself calm in her presence? You're a knight of Hyrule for the goddess's sake. You'd think you could control yourself to do a job you were assigned. You're not a teenager. By your age, you'd think you'd at least have developed half a brain.
Link narrowed his eyes.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sleeping with the Princess of Hyrule?
Link's eyes widened at the accusation.
No! Goddess, no!
Coyle whacked Link again.
Then what did I just overhear?
Stop hitting me!
Not until you explain yourself.
He raised his hand again.
And maybe even then I'll have to knock sense into you.
Okay! I'm not. I swear. We're not doing anything. I'm only training her.
Coyle gestured to the training yard they stood in, as if that were the dumbest answer Link could have provided.
I'm aware of that, and it explains nothing. I care about you like a son, Link, And I don't want to see you buried alive in a grave you dug yourself. You are a knight. She is a princess. You tell me what's going through your thick skull right now.
Is this all because I made one joke as she was leaving? We're friends, Coyle. Believe it or not, I've become friends with the Princess of Hyrule, despite how we started things. I think I'm allowed to joke around with her. She knows it's in good fun. We both do. And we know that there are boundaries. Like you said, we're not children.
That's the thing, Link. You're not her friend. You're her trainer. You're her knight, and she is your liege. Don't forget that. When you make crude jokes about her honor, what I just heard didn't sound like there are boundaries. You're still such a child. These actions always have repercussions.
I know that.
You don't. Clearly, you can never be with her. Is that something you've thought of while playing this little game with her? This is the stupidest thing you've ever done. I can't believe I even need to have this conversation with you. You'll both get hurt.
Goddess Coyle, I know! It's not like that, okay?
Then what's it like? Tell me, because if I were the king, you'd be dead after everything I just overheard.
She's...
He stopped, shook his head, and started to walk away.
What?
The older knight followed after him.
You're acting bizarre in training. You're barely speaking to her in public, but you're close and comfortable enough friends to make intimate jokes? You need to explain yourself. I won't report you, because that will see you expelled from the Knights dishonorably and possibly killed. But I can help you if you'll let me.
There's nothing to help. I've got this under control. She'd tell me if she were uncomfortable, and I'd tell her. It's fine. We're not doing anything.
Link, she's not an ordinary girl. You cannot be in her personal space, her personal life, or her personal anything. You are to be a professional, and professionals don't make...
Finally, Link stopped and spun on his heel.
She's scared, okay? Don't you dare say a word about this, but she's so afraid of being at the mercy of the Yiga. More than she lets on. I've been going to her room to help her train at night.
Her room?
Coyle gestured to the training yard again.
What's wrong with here? You're not blind or deaf, Link. You can see where this looks and sounds highly improper.
Running his hands along his face, Link turned to Coyle. In a swift motion, Link swept his leg under Coyle's feet and caught his wrist as he fell to the ground to ease the impact. Link pinned him down with his knee, preventing Coyle from standing.
This is all we work on. Getting her out of the situation right here. Because she's not afraid of a Yiga running toward her with a giant knife. She's not even afraid of potentially fighting one. She just doesn't want to be trapped. She doesn't want to be helpless. And she doesn't want to put herself in that position in front of an audience out here. So that's all that's happening. And if we laugh about it, if we've gotten comfortable being in such a space to make her feel even marginally better, I'll admit, it's no hard task on my part to indulge in a joke or two.
Oh, Link. It's still so dangerous for you. You are a good kid. But in the grand scheme of this political world, you're no one that they need to account for. Don't put yourself in danger because a pretty girl finally laughs at your jokes.
Link backed off and helped him up.
The more danger I'm in, the less danger there is for her. The more we train, the better she gets. I'm pretty new to the concept of friendship, but that sounds like a fair trade to me.
You've been too sheltered in these barracks, kid. You were trained to fight and to kill, but you were never properly taught self-preservation. It's about time you start trying to figure that one out. No one would deny you a harmless friendship with the princess, especially since you're together every morning. But you're already towing the line so thinly. You're not carrying on a harmless friendship right now. Don't you let that scale tip the wrong way.
Link groaned, clenching his fingers through his hair in frustration.
Fine. You're right. She's very pretty. I might get caught staring at her sometimes. But I'm not towing any other inappropriate lines that you're thinking of.
Oh, in the name of highly stupid! That's what you are. Your father would be disappointed in me for letting you reach this point. He trusted me with your care when he had to leave.
My father isn't here. He's home with my mother because he towed the line between duty and personal relationships, and he tipped the balance too far.
And he lost far more than his job when he chose your mother and you kids. You know all of this. The goddess made sure he paid for his choice. You're the best fighter in this kingdom, Link, and that's not an exaggeration. We need you. We need you focused and at your best. If you're worried about a girl who's nowhere near the battlefield, what will happen to you?
Growing fidgety, he began to fix his hair for something to do.
I worry about my family every time I go out there. I think about what happened to my brother and I fight harder. I think about my sister and I'm determined to train harder. I think about my parents and I'm determined to come home. I worry about you, the other knights I'm out there with. And now, I'm worried about the princess. There's nothing new about it. I don't fight for the sake of the grass in Hyrule Field. I fight for the people I care about. Tell me how that's wrong, to have one more person to want to keep safe.
Coyle nodded and pressed his palms into his eyes.
You're not a child. As long as you understand the risks, I'm not going to stop you. But if you, even for a moment, don't know what you're getting yourself into, step back and look around. You're trained for that much, at least.
When Link arrived that night, Zelda wasn't in her room. He poked around for a moment just to make sure, and then relented to sit on her bed to wait for her, setting down his belt on the chest at the foot of her bed as he always did. It was unusual that she wasn't there. For the past several days, he'd been finding her waiting for him at the window, usually watching him scale the building with a look that betrayed her awe and her horror. By her bedside were notebooks and tomes, all with marked pages. They ranged from geography to biology. His hand reached out to take a book about plants, but he heard footsteps in the hall, followed by the booming voice of King Rome.
Shit.
He looked around quickly before he slid into the wooden wardrobe in the corner of the room, just as Zelda's door opened.
The new treaty. I think that would be useful.
Yes, I think that would work. But we'd have to find a way to incorporate the Gerudo as well. Urbosa is instrumental, and I don't believe we should keep her out.
That's favoritism, Zelda.
That's being practical, Father.
Rome chuckled.
You are learning well, Zelda. We will contact Urbosa immediately to inform her and see her position.
Thank you, Father.
Well, I'm going to head to bed now. Is there anything you need, or are you all set?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Since the Yiga attack? Yes, quite a while.
I'm sorry I haven't been as attentive. Things have gotten busy, and it's not an excuse, but...
No, but it's really okay. I know the thought is there.
There was the sound of rustling fabric that Link assumed was Rome hugging Zelda. But suddenly...
What's that?
Link peeked his head out to see what the king meant, willing to reveal himself if there was a real threat in the room. But when he saw his belt still on Zelda's trunk, and their eyes staring straight at it, he groaned as quietly as possible. Zelda was fast, though. Her eyes darted around, looking for him, but she simply tisked, a lie springing to her lips far too easily.
It's Link's. He left it after we trained, and I didn't feel like searching for him afterwards, so I just brought it back with me. I'm going to return it in the morning.
Curiously, Rome stepped in and picked it up.
You should have gotten it back to him immediately. Looks like there's some stuff he needs on here. I'm surprised he didn't seek you out.
Zelda swallowed and shrugged.
He's diligent. Maybe he didn't want to leave his post. Or he has spares. Or, most likely, he knew I'd just return it in the morning. Regardless, I was busy today and wouldn't have had time.
True.
Rome examined one of the daggers.
You should keep it in your wardrobe, rather than lying around. What if someone did manage to get in here? A Yiga or some other threat? Then you've just left a whole arsenal at the foot of your bed.
Then I'd have weapons at my disposal to defend myself.
Zelda took it and made her way to the closet.
You're paranoid, but
Zelda yelped in surprise at the sight of Link innocently standing hidden in the closet, his head between two of her dresses.
Zelda? What is it?
With a quick motion, Zelda pulled the dagger out just a bit and slid her thumb along it. She turned to Rome with a light stream of blood moving down her wrist.
just clumsy. I cut myself. Don't worry.
She handed Link his belt as if she were hanging it up and closed the door, giving him an exasperated look as she did. Rome bit his lip nervously and handed her a nearby cloth.
Goddess, I thought there was something in your closet. But I suppose it's a good thing you two haven't covered blades yet. Make sure Link gives you all the safety protocols first. We don't want that to happen on a larger scale.
Yes, Father. I know.
She took the cloth and rolled her eyes. Great.
Need any help with that, or are you all set?
I'm just going to wash it out first. It's fine. But thank you.
Okay, then. Good night, Zelda. May the goddess watch over your sleep.
Good night, Father.
Rome looked her over one more time before closing the door behind him with a telltale thud. Zelda breathed out a sigh of relief.
You almost gave me a heart attack.
Stepping out of the closet, Link grinned at her and tossed his belt right back onto the chest at the foot of her bed.
You were late.
I'm the Princess of Hyrule. I'm not late.
Terrible logic.
Though he was teasing, he grabbed a wash basin and brought it to her.
Thanks.
He watched her dip her hand into the water and flinch as it lapped over her wound. Resisting the urge to help her, he grabbed the top book from her pile instead.
No, wait!
She crossed the room quickly to try to snatch the book from him, her hand still dripping wet.
Plants and Horticulture of Hyrule Field.
He raised his eyebrow and flipped to her bookmark.
Are you planning to start a garden? Oh.
A grin spread over his face as he read the words on the page.
Guardian technology. Hoarding your blasphemous texts, are we? Are you going to start tinkering with them again?
You know I'm not allowed to, so give it back.
Zelda burned red and grabbed his arm to try to pull at him, but with one hand, it was a losing fight. Still, she tried feebly, knowing he'd already seen it, so there wasn't much reason to really fight anyway. It wasn't as if he was going to rat her out either. She was simply at the mercy of his teasing for a few moments. Chuckling, Link turned the page at random as his eyes scanned over the words.
How do you even get a hold of this? Isn't half of this stuff forbidden to even be close to you?
But they both answered at once, the obvious answer hitting him immediately as Zelda was ready to confess.
Pura.
This time, Zelda just crossed her arms.
I wanted to experiment. So, I have a fake cover on it in case someone nosy decides to grab the book. You know my father is paranoid about the Guardians, even after all these years.
I do know that.
It's just harmless fun.
Despite their closeness, she still felt the need to defend herself in her thick tome.
I'm never allowed to have fun, especially with the books they make me read. I want to read about the blast radius the Guardians have while powered by a massive ancient core. And I want to know the components of a Sheikah slate so badly. My father won't let me do any of it. I just want to read something that isn't so political.
Link hummed and nodded.
That's true. Those books are the worst. My favorite was... Gods, what was it called? An Economic History of the Merchants Guild of Hyrule. That's the one that only spit out those rupee facts you kept telling me, right?
Zelda blushed a bit more fiercely this time at the level of attention Link had paid her without her realizing, and she pushed him by the arm.
Okay, get out.
He watched her turn redder by the minute, and turned back to her to tap his fingers against the hardcover book tucked in her arms.
You know I'm not making fun of you, right? I think it's admirable how much you prepare.
Letting out a breath, she threw herself back onto the bed and slammed her book into her forehead with a groan. Link chuckled and pried the book from her hands so he could hover over her face.
I'm serious. You'll make a really good queen. Maybe even one of our best in history. And I say that with bias, but it's well-earned bias because I know how hard you work for things.
Her eyes suddenly darted up to his. She wasn't sure she'd ever heard anyone tell her that, except maybe her father during her moments of absolute despair when he knew she needed to be cheered up, even if he didn't have all the faith of his words. She couldn't say anything, instead opting to simply smile. He knew her well enough by now to read the thanks in her eyes. The book was heavy in Link's hand, so he stood straight and opened it with interest. Flipping the pages of the Guardian text, Link narrowed his eyes, flipped another page, glanced at her, and then flipped the page again. He waved the book in front of her face.
You wonder why the goddess doesn't like you? It's because you write in your books. Ink is permanent, you know.
She ripped the book from his hand and hit him in the arm with it, doing her best not to let her laugh at his jab break through her angry facade.
I'm aware. I like having my notes in two places. A notebook for portability, and the margins for ease of recollection and access.
Watching a drop of blood trail down her finger, Link reached out and cupped her hand in his just before the long line dropped onto the page. At the save, he breathed out a relieved sigh.
That'll stain almost as much as ink. You should wrap that up.
Zelda let him lead her back to the water, keeping the blood in his hand until they were safe. He dipped his hands in first, and then shook them out a few times to dry, noticing that there was only one rag that he didn't want to contaminate if she was going to use it on an open wound.
Thank you.
She nodded to his hands and hers.
You really shouldn't have done that for me, you know.
I had to think fast, okay? Try. Thank you for not letting me get caught in your closet, Zelda. If I can thank you, you can find a way to get the words out too.
Fine. Thank you. I appreciate you covering for me, but you didn't have to injure yourself to cause an appropriate distraction.
You're so annoying. Ended it, thank you.
Why do you put up with me?
He handed her the rag. She wrapped it around her finger, letting the wound clot.
Because
Because
I just do.
that makes no sense.
Fine. Because I think you're amusing. Whether that's a good thing or not is dependent on the situation.
Link grinned softly, barely noticeable in anything but his eyes. Zelda watched him, content in their mutual silence. But even that had to end. After her cut had stopped bleeding, Zelda pointed to the empty space in the room.
Okay. Get on the ground.
Demands, princess.
But before Link moved, he grabbed Zelda's arm lightly, stopping her from going that way as well. Coyle's words came rushing back to him from that morning.
Wait. Have I ever made you feel uncomfortable?
Yes. Half the exercises you make me do leave me in discomfort. Are you offering to change them?
No. I mean, me. Have I said anything inappropriate that you didn't take as a joke?
Zelda narrowed her eyes, her brows scrunching together at his serious tone.
No. Trust me. I'll let you know if I'm offended by anything you say. You'll be well aware in that very moment that I'm offended, and not a moment later. What brought this on? Your comment just now? I thought that was funny.
Link's eyes peered at her through his lashes before he looked down at his hands.
It wasn't that. Coyle. He heard us joking around. Said I needed to be more careful. But I needed to know if I'd already gone too far.
Quickly, Zelda shook her head.
No. No, you haven't. I sincerely appreciate you treating me as if I were anybody else. I didn't appreciate it quite so much at first. But now? It's one of the most precious things you offer me. I consider you a friend, Link. And friends can joke around.
He was concerned by the undertones.
Zelda's eyes widened, and she stepped away.
Oh. Well, it's just good fun, right?
Yeah. Goddess, you're the princess. I would never... I couldn't just...
Giggling, Zelda pushed by him.
I understand. Besides, if I ever really wanted to seduce you, it would be much more obvious to you. And you'd fall so fast that Coyle wouldn't even have time to notice.
Link's mouth dropped into an open smile.
Excuse me, princess? What was that? I'd fall fast?
You would. I saw how you looked at me in the gardens and when we train. I'm not blind, Link.
And I've seen how you look at me in this Sheikah suit. Maybe you're the one who'd fall faster.
Haughty, and already feeling her cheeks warm, she crossed her arms.
It doesn't matter, does it? It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
She crossed the small gap between them, letting her finger curl under the fabric by his neck, brushing his skin lightly, enough to make his eyes blur with a helpless flutter. Instinctively, his hands flew to her hips, his conscious intent to move her away from him, to prove he was as unaffected as he claimed. But subconsciously, his fingers were too tight, and he could feel the strain in his arms as he tried not to pull her towards him. It wasn't the only thing straining. It was all an effort.
Get on the ground, Link.
Zelda stood beside him, prim and proper with her hands folded as formal as any good royal's would be, but determined in the set of her jaw and her focused eyes. Goddess above, the gleam in her eyes. She was going to have far too much fun training tonight. He was beyond doomed. In truth, there was no contest. Zelda didn't have to put in a single shred of effort to make his knees weak, so with the added effort, humor or not, he was pretty sure his utter collapse would be imminent. Link knew that he'd already fallen straight off the tallest cliff. At this point, he was merely trying to slow the descent.
Dap dap. Dip, 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 dip.
I need not speak in my native tongue for you. Now, show me thy strength.